Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson, and this is not another shooting show. We go to Valdosta, Georgia, where a 16-year-old accidentally shot himself while running from the police during a call involving several people waving guns around at a Valdosta residence. This happened back on October 2nd, about 8:30 p.m. Officers responded to a house on Green Street after citizens reported multiple people waving firearms in a yard. When officers arrived, several individuals ran from the scene. During the chase, an officer heard a gunshot and saw a 16-year-old male fall to the ground, saying, "I've been shot." Officers rendered aid until EMS arrived and took him to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Investigators reviewed body camera footage and confirmed the officer did not fire his weapon. The teen later admitted he accidentally shot himself with a gun concealed in the front of his pants.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. I hope life-threatening injury didn't mean blew dick off.
Right. Or they're going to call him lefty.
Or righty. I suppose. 5 individuals were arrested during the incident, and officers seized 4 firearms, including an AR-15 rifle. The police chief said she was thankful no one was seriously hurt and emphasized that false accusations made against officers will be prosecuted. Investigation remains ongoing. Well, don't run around with an unholstered pistol in the front of your pants, people.
Right. That's rule number 1 is have a holster for it, or be able to not have it loaded.
Number 1 rule of gun safety: all guns are always loaded. Rule number 2 should be: don't point a gun at your dick and run around.
It seems so simple.
Yeah. So, speaking of running around, I spent most of this past Friday running around. I was running around trying to figure out how to ship ammo. So I'd gotten multiple bits and pieces of information about how to ship ammo for Race Gun Nats in Utah coming up here. And like there was an email that came out that had all the instructions of how to, ship your ammo. You can't go to a UPS store because they won't do it. But there are a couple other stores that are just like mom and pop places. I'm thinking, oh, well, they're like the ones in the know. Maybe they'll be able to do it. Because like one guy, I had like prizes, primers, and ammo shipped to him. Nope, he couldn't help me. And so I called like FedEx customer service. They said, oh, go to this place. They can do it. Okay, I get there and they're like, no, we can't do that. And I'd heard from a person that you had to have like some certain code or something. So I'm thinking this is like this super fancy thing that has to be done. As it turns out, if I had just read the letter that was sent out about shipping ammo and then just went down the rabbit hole of having a pickup scheduled at my house when I will actually be there, then this would have all been avoided. I would have had to like have it in my account that, yeah, I'm shipping this sort of stuff and whatever. Because like a friend at a gun shop said we are not allowed to ship ammo because our account doesn't allow it or whatever. But I guess all you have to do is like set up your account so that you can, and it costs like a little extra or something. But if you don't ship ammo, then why would you pay that extra?
Right.
So, yeah. So eventually, a friend at a different gun store, thank you, Dwayne, they do ship ammo, and they had the whatever, got it taken care of, and finally got it done. But I was sitting there going, man, I'm gonna have to pack all my ammo, and it's gonna be way over the 11 pounds. And then they're actually gonna pull out a scale because that's my luck. But then I'm like, dude, you live in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. They're not gonna weigh your ammo. They don't care.
Right.
That's not gonna happen. Anyway, so I finally get it done. But I spent like half the day Friday trying to figure out how to do that. But also, speaking of shipping, another shipping story that's kind of fun. I made a new friend, and his name is Lance.
Lance, eh?
Lance is my new friend. Lance works for FedEx, or he's like a contractor, FedEx contractor, delivery guy. So back in May when we were getting, I was having trouble getting the ammo and the primers being there to, FedEx used to be able to, if I said, oh, I'm not here, I'll pick them up at a center. Well, they don't give you that option anymore, at least not here. So basically, I have to just be lucky and be home when they show up at 10 o'clock in the morning or 2 p.m. in the afternoon when I'm at work every day. And so finally, I just go out to the distribution center or whatever and say, and there's like a pickup window, but that I'm not allowed to send it back to, probably because it's a hazmat thing. And I asked the guy, okay, it's not an option for me to like have it sent here to pick up or anywhere else. How can I get this package? Like, I have to get it. And so he finally gets a hold of the guy. He's like, well, he's still out on delivery. You want to go meet up with him? I'm like, yes. And so I met up with that guy. Turns out this guy back in May, that was Lance too. So when I did the same thing here on Saturday so I could pick up my primers that I got on primer day from Dylan, I already had the guy's phone number in my phone from the last time. I'm like, oh, shit. And then when I met up with him, he's like, oh, yeah, I remember you. I remember your house. Yeah. You always order stuff that can't be delivered. I'm like, well, when I order primers, I do. And I just said, okay, the next time I will order primers again at some point. When I do, and the first time you don't deliver them, if I see it's you on the camera, can I just call you? And he's like, absolutely. Just give me a call. Don't bother going out to the center. Just give me a call. We'll get together and we'll get you your stuff. I'm like, awesome. Thank you, Lance. So Lance is my new friend and he works for FedEx. So there's that. Well, Jeff, oh man, you're on fire tonight.
What?
So on fire. Where do you want to start with all of this?
I mean,
like in order? Because I know there's no order to your...
Well, there's a little order, I guess, because one of them stems from like one argument thread, and the other one was from my local match.
Well,
so,
I want to start with your local match too.
Okay.
Because I had Steven post the video of something I don't think you're going to bring up, but I want to bring it up, and that is the stage with the 5 shooting boxes and the 4 targets.
Oh yeah, no, that one is
and the 2 per box.
How complicated is too complicated? I highlighted it right here. Maha. No, I was
okay.
I was 100% going to talk about this fucking stage.
You give no details on your topic, so like I have to infer whatever. Okay, so that's that. Okay, how complicated is too complicated? So Jeff, you shot the stage. Why don't you describe it?
Okay, so there's 5 shooting boxes. 4 of them are in a diamond, and then a 5th one is in front of a barrel. There's 4 paper targets, all open at the back of the bay. Start position is in any box you want. Hang on the holster, wrist below belt. So it's 5. You can only fire 2 shots per box. Every target needs to have 5 shots on it. There has to be a mandatory reload, and there is 2 strings. And you start in whatever box you finished in for the second string.
Okay, so the mandatory reload must occur when?
Before the final shot.
Okay.
So, this caused a lot of conversations to the point where I got annoyed with it and just explained to everyone how to do it the best way. And then I proceeded to fuck it up.
Oh.
Because it was a 3-paragraph stage briefing.
Oh.
The 3rd paragraph was proper ways to apply. Oh, and it was Virginia count. So it was... The 3rd paragraph was about all of the scoring problems because it's a procedural. If shot occurs or 3rd shot is taken from box,
right? So that's a.
So I actually probably need another procedural on top of the one I already had. It's Virginia count, so extra shot, extra hit. So it was a fucking science, like, word problem and not a fun shooting stage, which annoyed me.
It seemed like more of a math problem.
It was. But that's what it was.
After I looked at it and thought about it a little bit, it was basically 5 times 2 times 4 is 20. Or
Yes.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong. 5 times 2 is 10 times 2 is 20.
Yes.
I
So,
knew what I meant. I just said the wrong last number.
Right. So,
You
the way
break
to
it into
shoot-
2 targets.
right. What you do is 2 boxes are 2 on the far left target, 2 on the far left target. Then what I did is I reloaded going over to the other box, and I went 1 on the target that I have shot 4 shots at. So now I'm at 5. And this is where my brain like got discombobulated.
Yeah.
And so I transitioned to the target, but as I was already moving, and so I fired the shot, and I don't think I was out of. I thought that I was still in the box and my foot was up. I apparently was not. So I got a foot fault for that one and a mic because that one just hit the berm. And then I fired 2 more at the middle left and then went to the front, 2 more at the middle left, done. Then starting from the front, drew 2 on the middle right, went back, 2 on the middle right, went to the back left, 1 on the middle right, 1 on the far right, reloaded, went to the far right as I reloaded, 2, and then I went back and went 1, 2, oh shit, I think that was a Delta 3. And then I end up with like, I want to say 4 Alpha, 2 Charlie or something like that. So because it's Virginia count, that means that I had extra shot, extra hit, and each one of those is its own penalty.
Yeah.
So it
After
was soul crushing for the first squad who was like half experienced people, half brand new first time USPSA shooters.
I don't think you'll be surprised. I kind of like this as a once in a very long while stage. I'm fine with this. I think it was kind of fun.
Yeah, you also didn't shoot it, and you didn't have to walk multiple newbies through it. You didn't have to RO newbies retreating and trying to reload.
The only thing I would have hated was scoring it, because I hate scoring. But that could be any multi-string stage where you got like 4 or 6 rounds on a target. I hate scoring more than 3 rounds on a target.
Yeah, but yeah.
But as far as shooting it, like I'm just going to shoot until a target has 5, and then I'm moving on to the next target.
Right, and that was the theory, yes.
And so 1, 2, move, 3, 4, move, 5, 1, move, 2, 3, move, 4, 5.
Well, you've already committed a procedural because you never reloaded.
Well, I'm just talking about the order.
Yeah, and that's what I ended up doing for mine. But
if it would have been 4 boxes and 3 targets in a way where it ends at 8, then you don't have to have the reload in there. Like, that's the only thing I would have done different is I don't know if the math works out, though.
No, the reload was there to fuck with everybody.
The reload had to be there because it was over 8 rounds in a string. It was 10 rounds. That's why the reload had to be there.
Well, he put it there because he wanted to fuck with people. Like,
but by rule, it had to be there. Like, there's 10 rounds per string.
By rule, he didn't have to add the 5th box. He added the 5th box because he knew.
Well, okay, yeah.
What
you're probably right.
Like the person who made it is a walking encyclopedia of rules, so he knew exactly what he was doing, and he probably gets massive enjoyment going through and looking at how many penalties, how many mics, how many procedurals, how many this and that were done on that stage.
I still think it's kind of fun. The video's on our Reddit. It's the stage video that's titled "The Latest Source of Jeff's Ire."
Correct, because it wasn't fun. Like, you could have done the same thing and been like, do a bill drill, go to the next box, do a bill drill, go to the next box, do a bill drill, go to the next box, do a bill drill. Done.
All right. Well, so there's that one. Now, what's next for your ire?
Well, this is not ire for me because I didn't get punched in the face by an activator.
Oh, you got punched in the face by an activator. Okay,
no,
do tell.
I did not. Nick did. So, Owen set up 2 bobbers on his stage, and his stage was very fun. but it created a lot of conversation around when to put bobbers and movers at locals. Owen's side of the story, from what he told me, he tested the bobbers, he tested the poppers, he tested it multiple times when he was setting up the day before, and they worked fine. According to Steven, he had to unfuck a lot of stuff. I was not there because I never get to matches on time anymore. I don't sleep. So Steven said he had to unfuck a lot of stuff, probably, whatever. I don't know. I wasn't there. And then while Nick was resetting the bobber, Steven tripped over the activator string, which activated the bobber, and the bobber came up and punched Nick in the nose. Like cut him under the nose. Like I thought he had got punched in the face.
Well, so, he kind of did.
He did.
Yeah.
So he was quite upset. Completely reasonably. Getting punched in the face is a very jarring experience if you've never had it happen to you, especially in an unexpected manner. But it created a lot of conversation around, do movers add to a stage? Should you have movers at locals? Yes,
you absolutely should.
Well, there's ways to do it and ways not to do it.
Okay.
To start with.
The yes or no question, should there be movers at locals? Yes, there absolutely should be. Does that mean there has to be one per stage at every local? No. But there should be movers at locals at least one every other match, depending on how often you have a match. You know, if you only do monthly, maybe you should have at least one at every match. Because then when people do go, not everybody goes to level 2 and 3 matches, but when they do finally go, and then all of a sudden you have lots of swingers, lots of bobbers, a mock Jesus swinger. Then all of a sudden they've never seen any of it before. So yes, there absolutely should be movers at locals. But
you have to think about how you do them is the problem. And I don't know that a lot of people do think about it. So
what was wrong with bobbers are pretty simple though. I don't get how a bobber went wrong.
Well, I don't either. But Owen set them up fantastic because his first bobber was at the very beginning of the stage on Bay 2. So anyone who's been to ENGC, it was literally at the front of the stage. So they could already be resetting it, because I was very good at scoring that one. And so I would normally have the entire stage scored up to the last 2 targets they were shooting, which was because he had 2 bobbers. So the first bobber on the right was in the back and the second bobber was in the front. And so by the time I got up to the front, people could already be resetting the bobber in the back. And as everyone came out to finish the last targets, they were already very close to the swinger to get it set up and ready to go, which was very nice. Because I've run into other matches where a bobber an activator was put in a very inconvenient place and it slowed down everything. And that was at Ankeny for their rifle match. I bitched and moaned about that a year or 2 ago, where because they have I think it's a 50-yard bay, 100-yard bay.
Yeah.
It's the second one of their bays. So I think it's the 50-yarder.
Yeah.
Their activator and swinger were in the front right corner of the 50-yard bay, and the stage went all the way back to the shed.
I always get confused when people say the front and back of the bay. Do you mean the most up range or the most down range?
The farthest berm away from, I'm calling the shooting line, is the back.
Okay.
The berm in it at the farthest end of it is the front.
Okay.
So it was 50 plus or 40 plus yards down the bay in the right corner. So the stage took a minute. It took me 59 seconds to run it.
Oh, geez.
That's how long that one took. And it was stupid because you had to retreat from the middle heading back, and then you had to run all the way forward to activate the target, the swinger, and the activator box was about 5 yards in front of the shooting box. So then you had to retreat to the shooting box and then shoot it. Then everyone had to come down, score, and then get that thing reset. And if it accidentally activated, guess who had to walk all the way the fuck back down there to reset it? So if you're using swingers, you need experienced ROs on every squad that know how to reset it. They then need to get that information disseminated so that everyone knows how to reset it. And then you need to think about how long will this take to reset, because apparently they had other issues with that stage to start with. And something with the bobbers, I don't really understand, but the stage in front of it, which was a very fun stage that Nick made, we were done with it in like 30 minutes. The squad on Bay 5 got done. We went over to Bay 5 and shot me and another shooter before they left Bay 2. So like that's it. Activators are fun, but they will be what creates your most headaches. Other than if certain people design stages that are fucking word problems from a state administered test.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess things are imperfect. So, yeah, stuff happens. I mean, you had experienced people who set it up, and were working on it, and it sounds like more of an accident happened that got Nick punched in the face than
that was
design of the stage or the way it was set up or anything like that. I thought you were going to where, Owen's stupid stage is why Nick got punched in the face.
Well, according to Nick, when he was very upset, that's exactly what he said.
Oh. Because if he had not drug out bobbers, then he never would have got punched in the face, I suppose. I guess on some level it's Owen's fault.
Right, because everything's Owen's fault. But no, it was a fun stage. I enjoyed it. Like the bobbers, I don't know that they added. So, okay, a larger conversation around movers. There are some movers that add things and other movers that don't. Like one that I thought about that there's two great examples of this. One of them was at Kansas this year, that dropout on
the bump out that went one way and then the other. Yeah.
Yeah. That is that's a stupid target. Like there was no point to shoot it until it came to a full stop. So
you could set it up to just reveal. It's just a revealing target. It's not really a mover. It's just a revealing target. You must do a thing to shoot this target. It's just a way to compel somebody to do something. I mean, in that case, it was just not really compelling much of anything because I think the popper was right next to the tip out.
Yeah, it that one felt useless. Another legendary example is from Area 3 years ago. There was a stage that had 2 disappearing targets, and only like 6 people shot at it out of 400. And Nils, I think, got like 0.2 higher hit factor shooting all of the targets versus the next highest person who did not shoot the 2 disappearing targets. But they had to be reset every time. They had to be like, I even asked the guy when I shot, I was like, you don't have to set up I'm not shooting at the drop turners. You don't have to set them. He goes, nope, we've got to go out and set them. We've got to make sure that they work and because you can
because they're activated by poppers and you don't have to. They're getting activated every time, but
yep, but no one's shooting at them.
Well, they do have to, because then all you have to do is say, hey, they weren't available. I want to reshoot if you shoot a mic somewhere else.
Right. But it's such a fucking poor design of a stage that if 99% of the competitors choose not to engage a target, it's a terrible design. So thinking about ways to make them reasonable, we're not talking about the ones at Area 3. One of the ones I'm thinking of is at Iowa a couple of years ago. There were 2 just normal swinging targets, but they were at like 30 yards. And you're at that point, you're kind of just, letting Jesus take the wheel and throwing some rounds at them because you're like, fuck it. It's at its lowest dwell, fire 3, move on. And I was like, this doesn't like, I didn't like it. I felt like it was a poor
Let's
use
just
of
make
them.
sure all the targets are super easy. Let's not have anything challenging ever. Make sure that, as long as you aim, you'll get something on Brown every time. Let's just do that with all of them. Why make anything hard or challenging?
To put a shot on Brown, yes, I do think that is completely reasonable. That every target I should be able to put a shot on Brown. As we figured out, anything to 90 yards.
Well,
so I look forward to the tuxedo at 57 yards on your 100-yard bay.
no, I'm not going to do that. That's dumb. But a mock Jesus swinger isn't dumb. A regular speed swinger at 30 yards, as long as it's not a partial, and it has a dwell, is not dumb. I think a 35-yard swinger is too much. I think 25 is okay, as long as it's not crazy fast. Wasn't that Wisconsin section you and I both shot? There was like a 25-yard swinger on that one that was just over the top, wasn't there?
Yep.
And I think I had a mic on that target. I think I had one hit, one mic. I don't remember what it was, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think anything's out of off base or not worth putting into a match. Like,
But okay, that leads
like
leads
not
to
anything, but like, I mean, match flow is. I care more about the match flow. Like your argument about match flow and reset, I will listen to way more than I will. Like that's too hard.
right.
like-
but that leads us into this other conversation of should matches be fun?
Fun is completely subjective.
It's completely subjective, but there are reasonable things that you can say make it less fun for the average person you would expect to show up to that match.
Okay, but are you the average person?
No, fuck no.
Okay.
Oh God, no. So like, again, abandon Thomas's stage.
Okay.
Bay 5, and I'm going to post this one because it was a fucking dumpster fire for me. Because I don't mind sharing my dumpster fires. Like I was going to share Thomas's stage too. Like I don't fucking care. I'm very okay with who I am. So on the stage, there were six required targets at about between 25 and 35 yards. And then there was options to take other targets from like 30 to 40 yards, like basically a cross Bay 5 for anyone who knows ENGC. And there was a part of me that the stage was symmetrical, so I already wasn't a huge fan of it. And it was just like go down the left side, come up the right side. But we had like 8 or 9 new people. And I don't think any of them are going to come back. One said he would, but watching a new guy just like dump 5 rounds at a big popper at 30 yards, I was like, fuck me, dude. Like there's that moment as the RO, you're like, hey, you should just move on at this point. Like there's no reason going to war with that thing. And, walking out and being like, oh yeah, Charlie Mike, Delta Mike, Alpha Mike, fucking sucks. Like it fucking sucks to rub their fucking noses in it. Like we are fucking great at this sport. We are awesome. I fucked that stage hard because I took a mic, knew it, got up front with the idea that I was going to shoot it from across, had a malfunction that got me flustered, and then skipped over a target. So it was a lovely clusterfuck. But of the targets I shot at, I hit them. There were 2 on Brown on every target. But is rubbing U and D and C class shooters' nose in it like an effective way to grow our sport?
At level 2 and 3 matches, I do not like level 2 and 3 matches are not necessarily for DNC class shooters.
Correct. I'm talking. Okay, I'll put the club.
You're specifically talking about club matches.
I'm talking about club matches, local matches.
Yeah, no, crazy hard stages. Like the stage with the Mock Jesus Swinger at Area 3? No. That stage actually came from a club match. Like, the bones of it were a club match stage, but it was a very different stage at Area 3 than it was at the club match.
Right.
So you can take something that's hard and just simplify it. You know,
if those targets were at 15 yards or they were partials at 15 yards,
yeah,
okay, that is a much more reasonable challenge.
Or you just have one challenging target. That's not stupid. Like, you've got a bay big enough for it. Put a open target at, say, 27 yards. Okay,
yeah.
One target out there, that's fine. Putting 4 out there is stupid at a club match.
Right.
Or if you want to put, we're going to make it extra hard and make it a tux. No, tuxedo targets, in my opinion, tux targets are for close application. Almost always. They're for a sub 10-yard target to make something hard when you don't have the space. There was not a lot of partials at Area 3. I bet you know why, Jeff?
Yeah, because you had the distance to do it.
We had distance. We didn't need to make them partial.
Right.
The only place we had partials were where things were close. Or just like one no-shoot on a target somewhere. You know, we didn't partial the hell out of everything because we didn't have to.
Right. Because, and so it's... And I've thought about it with, like, if ENGC was able to have a better member retention, because for matches that you fill up in 17 seconds, like out east and in Colorado and California and places like that, like, fucking, I don't know what you guys do. You guys confuse the shit out of me. We can't hold on to people to save our life. So it's frustrating when we're like, oh man, we got 8 new people. If we could keep 3 of them, that would be so nice. And it's like, oh, here's a massive math problem. You guys are just trying to figure out like how not to trip over your feet and how to move with a gun. Now try to do this 3-paragraph thing as brand new shooters. And I think it might have been their like first stage.
I'll say this. I don't necessarily think that's a great stage for a club match. I don't think it's like, I think it's a fun stage. I don't think I would have put it in a club match. Like,
yeah. And so, and again, I felt like the Bay 5 stage, and again, I'm going to post it on our Reddit at r/NASS, but it had the ability to be fun or cool. It just, I felt like because the guy who made it, my first thought was, oh, he's shooting PCC today. Like, that's how hard the targets presentations looked to me. And it was like, oh no, he's shooting carry ups. I'm like, oh, okay. Then, you know, and so I spent I took multiple opportunities to explain to newer guys how to retreat with a firearm, because it was a 15-yard retreat with 3 stops or 2 or 3 stops. So trying to make, and like one of the new guys probably DQ'd, but he was, 25 yards down the bay. So he was on like the 182. And I was like, I don't want to DQ you on the first day. Like, fuck. So again, it's finding the balance. Like the thought, I never finished the thought. The thought was, if Omaha had the participation of those clubs out east or the Colorado clubs, there'd be a conversation around having like, hey, this is a newbie friendly match. This is the hard match or the pro match or whatever the fuck you wanted to call it. And so that you could say, hey, at the newbie match, make sure that the stages are reasonable for this skill level. Hey, this is the hard match. Don't give a fuck. Do whatever you're going to do. Like they signed up for it. Just because basically my brain is translating it from my gym, because that's what I have to do. Everyone thinks they want to be a fighter till it's like, oh, okay, cool. Let's do unpadded elbow work. Like, let's cut your face up. Let's knock teeth out.
Let me compare your gym to your club.
Yeah.
Okay. At your gym, when you have a class going on, are there people screaming back and forth at each other, talking shit?
There will be people talking shit.
but like
more
yelling it
experienced.
across the bay or across the gym from one place to the other.
Sometimes yes, they talk. My guys are very fun. They like to give each other shit, and they keep it very focused on the experienced people.
Here's
what's the point you're trying to make?
Well, the point I'm trying to make is, which I totally whiffed on a comparison I thought I was going to make, but I did not. Is the culture and talk at your club on a bay or a squad more the issue than the stages?
I do agree that our culture is not helpful.
Because what I'm saying is not just like you're a bunch of mean people. I'm just saying new people misinterpreting.
Yes, we are
how you interact with each other. Because like if I was new and went there, I'd be like, these guys are fucking assholes.
Yes, we are very intense with each other and very prickly, or we come across as very prickly. I mean, so I definitely think that our culture doesn't help. I mean, talking with people, I was in a squad because the guy who was the main RO in that squad had rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and so newbies only got into his squad because they were the only slots left, and so I got kind of locked into that squad for a while. But it also forced me to be an RO because he would be like, "Here's a timer. I'll correct you if you make a mistake." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." But and like Owen was talking about, his first match was a classifier match with Cody and Lane.
Oh, geez.
And he's like, these motherfuckers don't talk. They're very serious. Like, what the fuck's going on?
I think that's probably better overall than, people are just great. And like, I'm not trying to indict you guys for like bad behavior or anything. I'm just saying maybe looking at how other people see you or see everything going on. It's just like an idea. Like, could that be it?
Well, right. And
because I do know you guys are kind of intense with each other.
Right. Well, and I came up two sides to it. One is, and we've talked about this, is like assigning a mentor to a new shooter of like, hey, like you're paired up with this person there. If you have any questions, please ask them. Like they're your point of contact, because when it's a squad of, and we've run into this at like the sectional matches or when we come up for the night match where it's all the Omaha people and we all talk to each other and we're very aggressive and we're very like mean to each other, and it kind of weeds out outsiders to be like, who the fuck are these people and why are they so mean? And so giving them that into the conversation, and then also having a debrief essentially is like, hey, new guys, when you get done, let's meet on X Bay or at the clubhouse, or like at my club, we tend to go to a restaurant in town and be like, hey, new guys, when you're done with the match, if you got a little time, we're going to run to this this bar, have a drink. Like, we'd love to hear about your experience at the match. Like, we need to almost make it more of a sales process, but no one's making profit from it, so there's no incentive to be good at sales, which is a larger conversation.
Well, but like, you guys are the leaders of your club, a lot of you that we've been talking about, whether you think you are or not, whether you have a debit card to use or not. like just because you're not the one who can sign checks doesn't make you not a leader at your club.
Right. Well, and we're all leaders, but are we incentivized to do the?
I think just on some level, like, no, you don't have to. You're not incentivized to do it, but like, do you want your club to continue to be viable?
We do, but it's all like.
Or would you prefer just get down to the dozen of you that are really intense?
I would love it to grow, but I am so confused by the ebbs and flows of my club that we had 0 cops. Like, Omaha has a shooting team that is supposed to have 12 members, and we had 0 cops at the match. And now there was a multi-gun the day before, but none of our multi-gun shooters, or the vast majority of our multi-gun shooters, do not shoot USPSA for some fucking reason. And most of the USPSA members have been burned by multi-gun enough times to not shoot it. And so
I can't imagine why people aren't coming back.
Well, yeah. And And so it's
Like, I'm getting worn out just like listening to you talk about like the ebbs and flows. Like, even though I'm already kind of aware,
Yeah. And again, I don't understand what brought 8 new people. Like and maybe that's what I need to do is be like, oh, how did you hear about us? What led you
having some friendly conversations with those newbies would probably go a long way.
Yeah. I'm not the person that normally you want to talk to at 8:00 in the morning. I'm not really a morning person, but that's where like the debrief could be nice.
Okay. Well, on that note, I have something other than drama to talk about. So it's dramatic, but it's not drama. There was a post on Idiots with Guns that I saw where I had seen another video earlier in the week, but I didn't think to share it. Some knucklehead comes out with gun in hand to yell at somebody, basically to win an argument or get their way or whatever.
Yep.
This guy, he's wearing a "Watch Out for Deer" t-shirt. It's been shared, cross-posted to the NAS Reddit. This guy gets out of his van or car. He's like, "You got to move your car," with gun in hand.
Yep.
And just so you know, I'm only going to speak for my state because I'm familiar with the law, but in South Dakota, that is aggravated assault.
Yep.
He didn't shoot the gun. He didn't point it at anybody. But you start yelling threateningly commands at somebody with gun in hand, you have just committed a felony, folks. So don't do that.
Yeah, I saw another one of these, and the caption said something about like I was just trying to hand out my business card, or like a door-to-door salesman or whatever. And the video starts with an older gentleman with pistol by his hip, like in his hand, finger off the trigger, good for him, just like walking this dude down. And the dude's like, bro, like you are brandishing a firearm at me, like you are threatening me. And the first thing I saw when I thought of when I saw it, I'm like, you could shoot this person, like
absolutely
100%. You could shoot this dude in the face. And like the one you shared, the gun is still in the holster. So like
the one I shared, no, it wasn't. Like the very start of the video, it's in hand.
No. Look at it again. It's in its holster in his hand.
Well, it's in his hand. I don't give a shit if it's in a holster in his hand. It's in his hand.
Well, I do, because that means I can beat his draw.
Okay. Well, tactically, yes. Legally, it's still aggravated assault. Like,
well, and I think that's actually an interesting distinction to make, because, someone could argue.
Plus, here's the other thing. Hindsight is, you don't get to have 20/20 hindsight when it comes to a use of force. I couldn't see that. I just saw a gun in hand. I didn't see a holster on gun in hand.
Right.
Now, that's me watching a video. I'm not right up close, but I never saw the holster until you pointed that out.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny that he's threatening with a gun that's still in its holster. Like, I just found that part funny, because he has to now rip the holster off. Because I've seen defensive shootings where someone like is pocket carrying and they draw and the holster comes out with it. One of the times they fired, and so the holster went off, but the friction or whatever fouled up the system, and so it gave them malfunction. And the other one, they had to they drew, pointed, and then had to yank the holster off so that they could then point the gun again. So
yeah,
just one of those really interesting. How about don't break out guns?
Yeah, just leave it holstered on your person, and then you're fine.
And don't be a dick.
Yeah, there's that. There's also that. Okay.
I feel like I need a force reset trigger for an M&P.
Okay. Why do you need a force reset trigger for your M&P?
Because I've always wanted a full auto pistol, because I think it's stupid and hilarious, and I don't know it. The reason I didn't buy it because it was like $228, and I was like, fuck that, for what will be a novelty that I will probably get bored with after like the third magazine, and I would never want anyone who's not like an B class and above USPSA shooter to touch it. But
I've got bolt guns I touch twice a year. would you touch it more than that?
Maybe. I don't know. Because there's a part of me that also, like, the novelty of it is kind of meh, and the, like, I don't know how well I will do with it. Like, because binary or bump stock triggers on ARs, fucking despise them. I just thought they were stupid as a concept.
Yeah.
But like binary triggers, I didn't hate because you could kind of get it to do the thing you wanted it to do. But I've never dealt with a force reset trigger. And from the looks of them, they're full auto by another name. But I don't know if that's the truth, because like bump stocks, you had to like get just the right amount of looseness in the way you held the gun, and it just turned your AR into a fucking giant noisemaker. And that's basically what a full auto pistol is going to be. But the lulls are just so high that I kind of want one.
Mm-hmm. Well,
because have you seen the TX22s, the little, the Taurus ones? They make it for that too.
Oh yeah,
they're silly.
I think you should absolutely buy one. I wouldn't, but I think you should.
next gun Andy's gonna borrow.
No, I don't. I mean, the only way I'm buying a full auto ever, I understand there's a lot to get there. I would have to win like the Powerball when it's over $1 billion, and even then I'm gonna be like, I don't want to waste that much ammo. But,
well, and that's the thing of it, is the ammo costs alone make it quite unappealing. I remember I took a friend shooting one time, and she was having so much fun. I brought a little 30 cal can of ammo or whatever, and this motherfucker like stuffed that motherfucking mag like 8 times. I'm like, okay, we're done. We're done. Like, she was just like, this is so much fun. Bam, 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 bam. And it was just like mag dumping into the berm. And I'm like, okay, we've exceeded about $20 worth of ammunition so far, and I don't feel like I want to pay for more of your noise making.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. The bump stocks were dumb. It was just sort of like, it was a trick to put a technique into a device.
It was an FU to the ATF.
Well, that, and it's just like, you don't need that thing to make that thing happen. If you do it, like, it's literally a technique that can be learned.
Yep.
To bump fire. So it's, whatever. I don't really need that. Although we were at the Cabela's in Omaha today, me and my son, and goddamn, I want an M1. They were all incredibly overpriced there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because I've walked in and been like, oh man, I can just get one here, and they're like $1,800 or $2,500 or something. Like
no, like there was one that was sub 2,000, and none of them were anything special.
Yeah,
as far as I could tell, compared to what I see on Gunbroker, because I do peruse. The only one that was worth more, that was probably worth the $2,500, was there was one with a really cool stock, like just the color of the wood and the finish.
Yeah,
along with the fact that it was a 7.62.
Oh,
M1,
like a factory, or
no? It was one of the rechambered ones. Like I do believe there are 308 or 7.62 CMP M1s, because they were a thing. I think the Navy ended up with a lot of them.
Okay,
if I recall correctly. But no, they were just like, well, we're not doing the 30-06 ammo anymore. The old 30 cal ammo, it's the 7.62 by 51.
Yep.
So they converted some while they were still in use, like in the 50s, I think.
Yeah,
50s and early 60s. Like the M1 wasn't totally discontinued, I think, until the 60s or 70s.
Yeah, because it would be in National Guard units and
yeah, I mean, they're around.
Lower echelon units.
Yeah,
because there were still grease guns in tank units in the first Gulf War.
Oh yeah, now that's a gun that, man, that's one I really want to shoot. Is a grease gun. Yeah, I would like to shoot one of those.
I feel like they would be atrocious.
Well, they were slower than the Thompson. The Thompson was just an atrocious rate of fire and hard to really control. I mean, it was literally burst and, then reset, burst, reset.
But there was a spot for each of your hands versus the grease gun where you're like, hold the magazine well, I guess.
But it was a slower rate of fire.
Yeah.
You know, it was more like pop, 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 pop. Anyway, my dad had shot both of them, and he said he liked the grease gun way better, the M3, than the Thompson. But he also said, Grandpa said the Thompson was really good for clearing houses in World War II. So, and I believe him.
Bullet hose is bullet hose.
But yeah, you're up. CQB. Yeah, there should be some CQB with a Thompson machine gun. There you go. Okay. Well, we're. Do we have time for this?
No.
Or do we need to save it for the next one
We
or
probably
another
need to
day?
save- either or.
Okay. Because if we go down this road, it's going to be a while.
Yes.
I think we've already set it up. Fuck it, let's just do it. Okay, at least part of it. So, launch into it, Jeff. Whichever, because you've got like 5 topics down here that are all sort of about the same thing, and I don't even know where to go with it.
Yeah. So there was a larger conversation around
Lena and what's his name? Leaving Sig? Is that what it was about?
I mean, that part didn't help.
Max Michelle. I blanked out his name.
Yep.
We didn't mention that. That was news like the day after we last recorded. So.
Yep. So people got into a huff about, do area matches mean anything? And like, what's their purpose? If we aren't rewarding the top level shooters for being top level shooters, why, like, what's the point? Like, and they got into a big huff because my response was, we're not a sport. We're a hobby. We're a hobby that we travel for, and we hang out with our friends, but nothing we do matters. And the core of our sport really is actually looked down upon within the industry that we are in. So I did not create lots of friends with that perspective. A certain gun manufacturer told me that I was an idiot and that all matches should be based around the top level shooters. And I told them how many tickets do top level shooters sell to a match. And he did not give me a response to that. So it created.
Well, I mean, what it really came down to, like, and it wasn't even when we're talking about Caleb Patterson's post from last week about it, like the graphic was what happened to area matches, and I'm kind of like, I don't know what did happen to them.
That was literally my first question.
I didn't really just as a. I mean, it was an evocative title to put as a caption in the image, because it's like, what are you talking about? Like, that doesn't tell me anything. And then the description is where you have to read and get engaged, and so he said he's competed at 3 area matches this year, and the stages have been exactly what I expect and love about area matches, difficulty wise. The one thing I have noticed is that this year's matches don't have the professional feel of area matches in the past. It seems like the fees go up every year while the value goes down. Some examples of that: the stages don't seem to be maintained as well as they should be. I don't know if he's talking about Area 3, but like, no, we underbuilt them for the wind. So most everyone seems irritable and unwelcoming. I know he's not just talking about Area 3, and I'm not even sensitive about this. Like, I already know where the deficiencies were in our match. There are no prize tables to speak of, and the awards seem like a cheap afterthought. What do you guys think? Well, we had a prize table. It was not a conventional prize table, but we also didn't pay for the prize table. Everything that was on the prize table was donated. I will say this: I was surprised about running an area versus a level 2 match, is that there was not really money left over for prizes. We always have a few $1,000 at Great Plains to throw around to add to the prize table. We really did not have that this year with Area 3. Granted, it's also because that club was building everything from scratch, and it's the first time they've had a major, and so, yeah, that was very different. What this conversation, and like, I'm not even really sure. I'm not like even criticizing what Caleb's saying. only ever shot Sherwin's old Area 3. I've never been to another area match, so I don't really know. And then I shot the Scott's Area 3. I did not shoot Hopkins just because it was a year I couldn't go. And yeah, I don't know. But then this whole thing evolved into a thing about prize tables and why aren't we giving prizes to the guys who are winning the match?
And we've talked about this before. Is at a USPSA match, everyone's $125, $100, $200, $500, whatever your match fee is the exact same as everybody else's. Like, if Glock showed up and was like, "Hey, here's 10 grand. Also, could our like 5 sponsored shooters get free slots?" Cool, whatever, awesome. That would be great. But the idea that people who practice a lot should be rewarded kind of feels like a participation trophy to me, because we all know who's going to get it. At the end of the day, whenever
we would have been wrong at Area 3 this year. We would have been way wrong.
We would have been way wrong. I will agree 100%.
At least in CO, we would have been way wrong.
Right. And also a number of people were not at the event because they were in Africa.
Right.
Because
the World Shoot was going on.
Right. So I just have a problem with this idea, because part of it is a history lesson from some of the multi-gun world stuff. Or like, several people have explained to me that one of the things that made multi-gun kind of die off in some forms was that they did, "Hey, best shooter, here's your awesome prize," and they would literally just turn around and be like, "This is worth this much. Who will give me 50%?" And it was their way of like paying their way around doing this, and people got really annoyed with it, because watching the same people win over and over again, and you're like, it takes the fun out of it.
Let me quote a comment. You shouldn't get participation prizes. If you want to win stuff, get better.
Yes, sure.
Okay.
So
because that won't turn off the people who pay the largest majority of the fees.
And who are the workers, the staff, the RMs, the MDs.
Now, as we've also talked about in the past, though, like, I'm not against, if like Area 3 was random drop prize table, the whole thing. Here's why it was. I don't care about prize tables, personally.
Right.
I do not care. I do not care about prize tables. I've never once gone to a match because of a prize table, ever.
Right.
That has never happened. Now, if I won the match and all of a sudden, like, yeah, I got first, where's my shit? If, like, that's not going through my head either. Like, I'm not, where's my free gun that I can sell on Gunbroker or to some local guy? I get it, but at the same time, I kind of don't care. And well, there's the area director saying he doesn't care about the good shooters. No, I don't care about prize tables. I do care about quality matches. Now, this whole back and forth about, is it a hobby, is it a sport? Oh God, it fucking warps my bowels every time I hear someone talk about, it's just a hobby, it's a sport, it's blah, blah, blah. It's the dumbest fucking argument ever. It's a sport. You know why? There's rules, and there's winners and losers. It's a sport, period. I don't want to hear about a hobby. You can play a sport as a hobby, but it's a sport with rules and winners and losers. Well, that's my whole point. There's winners and losers, and we should reward the winners. Okay. Well, if we did that now this is at an area match, and there were guns on the prize table. Could we have saved one gun for the overall champion of each one? Should it have been for the overall champion, or should it have been for the area champions? Because they're not always the same thing,
right?
How do you do it? It's somewhere wherever you cut it off, someone's pissed off.
Yeah.
And and all of these conversations are exactly why I want it to be random draw, because I don't care about the conversation at all. Now, as far as should USPSA, like, one of the comments that was in this whole thing was like, USPSA needs to do something. Where was that fucking comment? Because I 100% agreed with him. In terms of nationals, anyway. Like, yes, USPSA doesn't do anything for... Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
And this, it was one sentence in this long comment, of which other things I disagreed with, but it said USPSA is making enough money to pay the staff more, but they won't do it. Well, not only that, like, just to increase the quality of national matches. Absolutely. Newsflash, kids. The entire purpose of the organization is to put on nationals.
Yeah, it's a loss leader.
It is literally the purpose of the organization. If you go to Article 3, Objects and Purposes of the USPSA bylaws, the nature of the business or purposes to be conducted or promoted is to solicit, receive, and maintain a fund or funds, the principal and income of which shall be applied exclusively for charitable purposes and in particular for the promotion of amateur, national, and international athletic contests. Nationals. Principally in the area of practical firearms competition. So, subsection A, as a means to this end, such purposes to be carried out, subsection A, by sponsoring national and international practical firearms contests. B, establishing a system for the conduct of such competition. The rules. Or actually, no, a system for the conduct of matches and then the rules. Okay. And then some other things. It's the whole point. So, absolutely. USPSA Nationals loses money every year. Uh-huh. And as long as the organization is financially solvent, I don't give a shit. They should lose money. It's the whole object and purpose of the organization. What do you think your activity fees pay for? Not just the operation of the organization. It's supposed to pay for nationals. And we should be, like, I'm not in charge of spending the money for nationals, but I vote on the budget. At least I did. I won't be much longer, but there absolutely should be more money spent on nationals. 100%.
Yeah. 100%. But we also have to be very clear about what do we want with that money? Because, oh man, I want professionalism. What does professionalism mean to you? Like,
with a bunch of volunteers.
Right. That's the thing.
There are no professionals. That's
right.
The problem.
It's because if you want a professional cadre of ROs, like the NFL has a professional cadre of refs, they need to be trained. They need to be evaluated. They need to be paid. They need
even before that happens, the sport has to have enough eyeballs on it to generate that kind of money.
Right. And it probably will never have that.
No.
Unfortunately, because again,
there's 43,000 members in USPSA, all-time high, and that's awesome. But there were that many people in my television market that watched the fucking Vikings this past weekend. Okay?
Yep.
Like, trying to say USPSA needs to be as professional as other professional sports, that's a great goal.
Yeah.
It's a thing to strive for, but that's not going to get you your gun on the prize table,
right?
When you win a division,
right? And that reward for putting in that effort is kind of the key to a professionalism. Because one of the examples they used was Area 2. Their match director somehow gets like 100 guns or something.
It's also been the same club and match director running that match forever. How many match directors have there been for Area 3 in the last 5 years?
5?
4. Yeah.
And so, that dude is able to do it. And I assume he gets something for it. Or he's just built up that many contacts and like he loves doing it. But another dude in there, Tom Castro, who is a very high level shooter, runs his own kind of training group thing. He was like, I was the the price table guy for one of the Carolina sections, and he goes, "It was one of the hardest jobs I did for 3 years." And someone was like, "Oh man, I can't wait to go back. You did such a great job." And he's like, "I'm not doing it again." Like it's awful. Because imagine if you are the type of person that can reach out and solicit companies for free stuff or set up advertising packages and doing all this stuff. You have a job doing that.
Yeah, it's like, Dan, God bless you for doing it for me for Area 3.
Right.
Because I wouldn't have had the time to do it, and we wouldn't have had as nearly as many as we had. So thank you, Dan.
Because like when you were in radio, how many people did you have working on like sponsor stuff?
There's a whole department.
Yeah, right. Like, that's my point.
They sold advertising. That's what they did. It was their job. They got 20% of everything they sold.
Yeah. And so unless you want USPSA to turn into some weird multi-level marketing scam, that where the area directors are now replaced with salespeople whose job it is to solicit advertising dollars from people.
People shouldn't be making money off of matches.
Right. Again, this is where we run into this like whole thing is you want professionalism, but you want none of the things that get to professionalism. It's one of the things that annoys me most when people are like, man, Japanese culture is awesome. And you're like, you don't want any of the things that Japanese culture does to make it do the awesome things that you think are awesome. Like it's everyone wants the result. No one wants the work to get there. And the high level shooters, from my experience at my club, they won't help. What I've learned is,
why should they have to? They paid their match fee.
Right. Well, and if I made a pyramid and at the bottom were D class shooters and there were C class shooters and B class shooters, I get to the top of the pyramid and there's those GMs. There's that 1%. Yeah. They're so awesome. If I remove that top 1%, I remove every GM from the sport tomorrow, sport doesn't change. Nothing about it changes. Peak times change. That's it. Nothing about the sport changes. If I remove the bottom tiers, I'm going to say the C class because most people end up in C class. If I remove C class,
I would say C and B, really.
Right. Well, if I just remove C class, yeah. I've removed most of my match directors, most of my ROs, several RMs, most of the RO training cadre, everyone who puts on the match. I removed the 200 people at an area match who were not going to win, who were there for the love of the game, who actually paid for the props to get made and the prize table to exist and yada, 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 yada. Again, that's the GMs, they're like, we're at the top of the pyramid. And you're like, yeah, what you don't understand is that I can remove the top of the pyramid and the pyramid doesn't change. I can't remove the base, the core of the sport, and it be the same because they're the ones, and in all volunteer sport, they're the ones that put it on. And we're seeing a drop in volunteerism. Partially the boomers are dying off. Like my club has lost a dozen or more of our like standard ROs because they're like, they can't stand out in the heat all day. They can't hear the hits on steel. They can't, like, they're not fast enough to keep up with the GMs, like, and they just don't want to deal with the stress of it for a free match.
I just looked back at Area 3. C class, there were 70 in C class, 93 B class.
Really?
Far and away
That's
the
crazy.
Largest class of, and this is all the divisions grouped together. And then there was 69 A class. So same number A class as C class.
Oh, that's super interesting.
My gut was telling me, like, I think you better be talking about B class. Because that seems to be, those are the people that stick around the longest.
Okay. Good update to it. There was also
27 unclassified in the match, so.
Yeah. My club, all of our older ROs, all of our, like, the legacy crew were all C class. Like, the majority were C class shooters. So that's kind of where my brain stuck.
No, I get it.
But no, that's super interesting that we do have that many. But and we don't have this data, but it would also be interesting to see how many. What is the skill level of the ROs? Because without, as much as you want to bitch about the ROs who are standing out in the hot sun and dealing with the wind and the rain and all the difficulties of the day, they're there because they love the game and they love helping, and they're helping people out. You can be mad at certain ones, and there's ones that have reputations and yada yada yada, but if you don't like them, replace them with you. Like be the change you want to see.
I'm certainly open to criticism, when it comes to matches that I put on, because even some, like, I'm way more open to it now than I used to be. Used to be like, I was like, oh yeah, well, you're dumb. I didn't say that, but I would think that. And then now it's, if somebody goes, man, you should really build your props stronger next year. Well, duh. For Area 3, of course it should be if it's out there again. Yeah, gross underestimation. 100%. But we were thinking more like it's going to be cold. More so than wind, even though wind should have factored in more than it did. Like, we live here, we understand. But, and was our staff perfect at Area 3? Nope. We had a lot of great staff, but staff was not perfect. 100%. So, I mean, there's even things, that he talks about in there. Like, yeah, some of that could have been better at Area 3. 100%. Without a doubt. The prize table was random draw when you got to stage 16. You know why it was that way? In addition to me not caring about the prize table and making sure, like, oh, I want to make sure all my GMs who win, or pardon me, my masters who win the match, go home with a gun. It's because we ran the match in a way so that you weren't waiting around until 4 o'clock to get through the prize table and get through awards. We had your ass on the road by 12:30.
Yep.
If you shot the last day, the last AM, PM. Knowing that, hey, this match is kind of in the middle of nowhere out in Rapid City, South Dakota, we want to get everybody traveling as soon as possible on the last day. The morning session is shorter than the afternoon, which that was a thing Bruce informed me was purposeful in his plan, which I overlooked as being an important factor. I was like, oh, you're kind of smart, Bruce. Okay. But anyway, I'm open to the criticism, but I still don't care about prize tables because I don't care about prize tables. I just don't. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I win something. Cool. Great. Most of the time I don't. I get a Vortex hat. Great.
Yeah.
I don't know. It gets a lot of eyeballs online, but like I don't think it's not the most important thing in the sport right now. It's just the topic of the day.
Yeah.
That's all. And there's how many people? There's a pool going for the LO shooters at low cap Nats, or race gun Nats, of which I am one of them attending and shooting, but I'm not donating I'm not donating money to whoever wins that because I'm not going to get any of the money. Why would I?
Right. That's. But
I also want to say like when Tanfo Timmy puts on his Northwoods match and they've got a cash prize. Like, I think that's fine if a match wants to do it that way. And part of how he does it is by just basically doubling the number of shooters that can be in the match. And on top of that, he's got a bunch of local shooters who don't need hotels. So a lot of that for his match, like I saw him say that somewhere in a comment, like, yeah, we can get away with doing that because we can put on a staff without paying for hotels.
Yeah.
And if you're in a big market like Minneapolis, or I know like Robert and the Paracast guys always talk about the cop match that Jared Stepp puts on. And it's awesome. He's like, I put on a match as big as Nationals and only cost $70. And all of your staff is local and free.
Right.
That's the big difference. If he had to pay for staff, that match is not $70.
Right.
And we don't have Salt Lake City right outside of Rapid City or Minneapolis right outside of Rapid City to do that. Rapid City is like 60,000 people. Overall market area of like maybe 100,000. The whole region. So it's just it's math, and it's different everywhere. So,
because I was even seeing complaints in that thread of, hey, don't do like staff reset anymore. Like they don't even like people were complaining about that. I'm like, I thought that's the thing everyone wanted. Fuck.
no, that's a very Area 6 thing, and because that was the thing Ben did. He with Area 6 was I don't know if it was Area 6 or if it was the other No, I think it was. They would only take cash sponsorship.
Oh, okay.
They didn't really do a prize table at all because they like. And I guess all the big IPSC matches, that's all they take is cash for sponsorship, and then they do just buy the prize table, or I suppose there's stuff donated to the prize table too. But I mean, if we were going to take cash sponsorship, maybe the cash amount is less than the MSRP amount of merch,
Right.
That would, because obviously it's costing them less than the MSRP, if, CZ shows up with a bunch of guns and the sponsorship amount is $3,000. Well, if they were just writing a check, they're not paying $3,000 for those guns. So, I mean, that makes some sense too, but this is going on long enough. Let's get out of here. Patreon.com/NotAnotherShootingShow. We never did that. It's only $3.57 a month, and you can get all of the next episode where Jeff will go even crazier. Which actually you didn't go as crazy as I thought you were going to go in this one, but I kind of went on a rant a little bit. That kind of surprised me.
I never know how spicy you want me to get because I'm abrasive.
Well, I don't mind spicy. I just mind singling people out or being hyper abrasive. Yeah, that part I mind.
As our pre-conversation was very focused on four names.
Yeah. Whose name? None of those names were mentioned in this episode, but
correct.
Anyway, he is Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson, and this is Not Another Shooting Show.